on top of that, as you even saw in that profile, they won their region. That's why they're here. They actually got first place. They beat MRR, I believe it was, to get to this point. So you've been saying this. A lot of people have been saying this about S2Y. They're apparently the team to beat, or not team, but they're apparently the one team from Southeast Asia that actually might have a good chance of upsetting even.
Not so sure about the upset because it really depends on the mindset of the team, but it's definitely true from the Southeast Asian teams, S2Y is the one that has the highest potential to pull through and the most experience, even though we have X-Orange here, but they somehow never really get it together on a LAN event, or at least they haven't shown anything prior to this event for that. So S2Y is the team that BMG has to beat right now and make a statement.
It's really interesting you talk about how these Southeast Asian teams, S2Y, one of those, of course, it really comes down to, I mean, we know that they're skillful players. We know they definitely even compare in skill levels to the NAEU region. But as you put it, they almost seem scared a lot of the times. That's been the past. And as you said, maybe going to this event, that could be the case here. But again, we'll have to wait and see. And Nova, we are ready, though. I'm hyped. I know you're hyped.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, hopefully you guys are hyped at home because we got a hell of a match coming at you. Let's jump into the game here. Game number 1 between Bad Monkey Gaming and Myth S2Y. Of course, one quick thing to know. So this is a Group B matchup here, first off. So how the groups work, every team, they're going to face every other team in their group. So for Group B, it's actually BMG, Myth S2Y. We're dealing with also Sync Esports, and then Turtle Master, actually. They qualified yesterday to join Group B. So those are the 4 teams. The top 3 move on to the bracket stage, including the first place team actually advances on to the semifinals automatically of the bracket stage, and they're only 2-game series, so it's best of 2, whatever you want to call it. 3 points for a 2-0, 1 point for a 1-1 split, and then of course 0 points for 0 wins. So there you go. There's a quick breakdown. But ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, we are in the game, so let's take a look what's happening. Pestilence first ban by BMG into Sir Bensington. Parasite coming out. And now what is that final ban going to be? It is Slither, actually. Interesting.
Yeah, that is really interesting. I already find the Pesty and the Parasite pretty interesting because there's 4 heroes that you kind of want to ban about S2Y if you have a bit more knowledge about them, and Lions did watch a lot of replays. So it is basically Fade, Sandwrath, Pasty, and Parasite. And now Hansken did decide to go for the Pasty and the Parasite. So that kind of shows something about the draft already. And then Sir Bensington, Jonas made a statement yesterday in the All-Star match with the Bensington, and I think it doesn't really, there's no difference in the international scene or the Asian scene. Bensington is Bensington, well, so get rid of him.
Stay green. They've already made a point, even going into this event, and we've kind of talked to them about it. They're probably going to ban Sir Bensington every game. They just think that hero's ridiculous. It's OP, and they just do not want to deal with it. And yeah, Jonas, a fan, as he put it, he played it yesterday. He's been playing that a lot recently when he gets a chance, so it's understandable. We see that. Slither is interesting, though. I know Fuzi has a tendency to play it. They do pick it up, and he does fit well with their playstyle every now and then. So, that's where S2Y clearly making the point that, we were worried about that. We just don't want to have to deal with it. But it does open up that Ophelia first pick, and that does worry me for S2Y because Hansken, no doubt, one of the top Ophelia players in the world right now, and he will make you pay for letting him get that hero. So, I don't know. Do you think S2Y is going to be up to the challenge, or is that going to be a problem?
They might actually go for dual support here, so that would be interesting already, and none of those 2 supports is particularly good against an Ophelia. Could be a farming torture as well, of course, we don't know that yet, but I'm interested to see how they respond in terms of support or jungle, and they could be up to the challenge if they play very aggressive, but Ophelia, compared to some of the other junglers, is more of an aggressive hero as well, so Hansken, the only downside could be that Hansken is actually not that familiar with going up against aggressive strategies, playing an Ophelia, because usually it's jungle versus jungle. You see that usually in the international scene if a jungle is picked, but we'll see.
We will. We definitely have to wait and see. So, obviously, they also followed over the Puppet Master into Engineer. Puppet Master, this is another carry. I don't know if it actually translates over to Southeast Asia, or it has, but he's really stepped up as a carry of choice. So, it sounds like the same thing over in Southeast Asia. So, they're comfortable getting that hero. And then, again, Engineer, a very, very solid support. So, as you're leaning towards S2Y, though, maybe that double support already coming out. We'll see. But so, Puppet Master, same thing kind of over there in Southeast Asia?
Yeah. Definitely one of the heroes that is played a lot as well. Usual carries are still Sandwrath and Moon Queen, but they still have some of the rather old school carries as well, like Draconis, like Silhouette. They still like to run those heroes. And we're actually going to see a Gauntlet here, so it could still be a farming torture on the short lane, but it could also still be a dual support roaming or tri-lane type of game. So really looking forward to see what S2Y is going to do with those heroes.
Now, do you think it's safe to say, Insania was talking about this a lot yesterday, it seems like we're kind of going over this a lot in general. Okay, here, actually, okay. Anyways, so it seems like, okay, so I have to actually change my setting real quickly, so apologize for that. As far as Southeast Asia goes, so again, Sandy was talking about this. We've kind of brought it up even going into this event. It seems like the lineups and whatnot, even more recently, they try to replicate what's going on over in North America, like the Stay Koreans and BMGs, but they don't execute it the best. Do you think that's safe to say, or do you think they kind of do their own thing and their own strategy?
They do their own thing half the time, especially when they play each other. But the thing is that usually when they face international teams, they, for some reason, try to copy international style. And guess who's better at the international style? They or the international teams, right? So this is really one of the myths that I never got behind. Why are they so scared to play their own style and bring their own Amun-Ra blacksmith tri-lanes into the game? Because they know how to execute it and create chaos with it. And it sounds like a silly strategy because we would never see it in the international scene, but they make it work if they play each other. So, yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe we'll see some sort of tri-lane here. Yeah, I would actually look forward to that. But we already have a really solid lineup here from the Legion side, and I mean all the lanes are set basically. And we know what we can expect from the Legion side here.
Well, okay, so it's not. I was actually going to get at first off. So Corrupted Disciple we see picked up there for s2y. I was going to say, you look at the bans there coming out from BMG. Actually, it's Drunken Master, Moon Queen, and Sandwraith. They didn't ban Bushwhack, and I know Bushwhack has been a hero that's very popular in Southeast Asia. s2y, one of those teams that definitely is known to run it. I was going to say, are we going to see a Bushwhack here? I guess it still isn't out of the question. I mean, Corrupted Disciple suicide definitely is a possibility, or as you said, it maybe even a trial of some kind. So it's still a possibility. Could you even see that still working here?
Yeah, I could still see it working. However, I do know that the s2y carry does love to play Corrupted Disciple as well. Yeah. So we might very well see it on the short lane. However, as you mentioned, it is definitely possible that it is a Suicide Corrupted Disciple with something like a Bushwhack shard. And then it is probably Bushwhack. That is between Bushwhack and Draconis, and even more so Bushwhack. It is probably the hero that they would pick in such a scenario here.
All right, so we'll see if that what that final pick ultimately is. They don't got too much time left, about 20 seconds of extra time and 10 seconds, so about 35 seconds in total now and counting down. Regidag, though, the final pick, though, for BMG. It's kind of interesting seeing that because, honestly, for the longest time, he was actually first picked by BMG constantly, and now he's kind of fell off a little bit, but still a very, very potent hero for them. They snatch it up with their fifth and final pick, and that looks like it's going to be shaping up as more of a actually, now that I'm looking at that lineup, it's going to be more. Is it going to be Super KGE? No, it's going to be Fuzi on that.
Yeah, it will definitely be a puppet carry. The question is, okay, Jonas is going to have the hack for the suicide, so it is most likely a Pharaoh middle and a puppet engineer pseudo tri-lane with the Ophelia on the short lane. They still have the possibility, however, to run the puppet and the NG middle and have the Pharaoh on solo shard. Pharaoh suffers against Kraken though, and if we expect Kraken to go for the long lane, we probably don't want to see a Pharaoh there. The only problem is if you have a puppet and engineer middle, that they might have a problem against Rhapsody and Gauntlet with the roaming Torture. So we'll see about that.
Yeah, you know, speaking of that Gauntlet, it seems like a lot of the time when it comes down to matchups, specifically that middle matchup, Gauntlet's great against double range, simply for the fact he has that hook ability, of course. The double range, you know, usually that means that those range heroes are a little bit weaker if they get pulled in, and that obviously sets that up. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if we see that possibility of, say, that Puppet Master engineer mid against that Gauntlet Rhapsody, as you're putting it. But man, I'm excited. We're finally here in game number 1. Again, yesterday, obviously we had some issues. You know, day number 1 of a LAN event. As I kind of pointed out, though, that was more of a trial day in the end. We had the wildcard matches and everything. We had a lot of stuff going on here, but we've made a lot of adjustments going into today, and so hopefully that shows throughout the day. On top of actually the fact that we do know the quality still might not be the best, same as yesterday even, but we are doing our best to actually fix it, and we do believe we have a fix for that. In fact, for hopefully even after this match, if not after this series. So I want to update that as well. Definitely expect that to come. But anyways, matches are happening. So here we go.
Yes.
All right, so what's going on here?
Going on into the game, we have actually exactly that. The Pharaoh doesn't want to head against the Kraken, which is perfectly fine because Kraken is extremely good against melee. So we see KGE actually taking up the Pharaoh to the top lane. Yeah. And he's most likely going to face a Corrupted Torture. The Torture will guard the top rune and roam towards the middle as well. So still, Pharaoh will pretty much suffer in this entire game until he finds few kill opportunities. Then the mid lane is probably the dual lane versus dual lane. We have a Gauntlet and a Rhapsody here, gonna face a Puppet Master and an Engineer. So I guess we want to go over the names quickly.
Let's do that. Yeah, let's talk about who's playing what. Hanskin, of course, on the Ophelia, nothing surprising there. Super KG playing Pharaoh. in a sense, kind of a hook hero, but he's also playing a suicide Pharaoh. That's different. I mean, usually you see Jonas and Fan, of course, in that case, but because of the hero lineup that they have, he's obviously on that short lane hag in this case. Fuzion, of course, Puppet Master, Seal Kid playing the Engineer, and Jonas and Fan playing the Wretched Hag. I'm going to leave the Southeast Asian team up to you, Nova. S2y, who's playing what?
Okay, Peter Yads now, this time not playing the jungler, usually about 80% on a jungle hero, playing the Torture here right now. ESC on the Suicide Kraken, already taking some damage. He wanted to pull the Creep Wave, but then decided against it. Middle, we have the Rhapsody DY score, together with the Gauntlet being played by Mr. Suns, already hitting the first hook here on the Puppet Master.
Yes,
put some pressure on the heroes.
Yeah, he's chasing him down, but not going to be enough. Obviously, Puppet Master don't have the Puppet Show to assist, but that's exactly what I was talking about, though. I mean, that's what the double range is very vulnerable against this Gauntlet here, in the Gauntlet Rhapsody lane especially. So, right off the bat, they're trying to make some big plays. They do force at least a lot of regen out there.
Yep. And finally, we have Snade, aka Backstiga, sorry, that's his long usual name. Actually getting initiation on the Pharaoh on top lane as well with the Torture, again, mostly to put just some harass out. Pharaoh does have the Mummy Walls level 1, so if things get sticky, he is able to get out of that. As you can see here, he's using the Mummy Walls as well to harass the Torture. Torture does have some mana pots, used both already though, and is on half mana. Used one D ward here to find a ward. I believe he did find it as well. As we can see that there is only one ward for the Legion up right now, isn't it?
Yeah, that bottom rune spot. I don't see another ward up at this time, so just having that bottom rune vision. And of course, Mr. Suns playing the Gauntlet. He was one of those other All-Star players that we didn't see yesterday make some big plays in both of the matches, of course. Player for S2y over here. So again, as far as the start is concerned, the middle matchup is no doubt going to be the one to really watch as far as action is concerned. And definitely it goes a lot of action. The middle matchup usually sets the tone for the game as far as how that pace is going to go. Top lane, we do see Engineer actually at the top rune spot. He picked up the haste. No, did he get it? Oh no, he didn't actually got it. Yeah,
is actually pursuing him. There's obviously a keg still available. He's using it right now, but pushing himself back. Unfortunately, he's getting stunned again, and that is going to be bloodlust here.
It only hurts.
That's unfortunate. Silkit going down.
Yeah, that's definitely unfortunate for BMG. As you said, I mean, that was very close race to the haste rune right there, but a great job by Torture putting the stun out, able to grab it just before him, and obviously we saw the end result coming out. So beautiful, beautiful play coming out right there from Peter Yates. And you mentioned he's usually their jungle player, secondary support in this case, of course, makes some big plays right there, and that is very good news for S2y. So I mean, I'm saying, I know it's very early on still, but the way that they're even playing the aggressiveness, it doesn't look like S2y is too scared.
No, at least he is not scared, definitely. And it was, like, we talked about this before, and we said that Torture would get and guard the top rune, obviously. That's his job, kind of. If he's not stacking too much or trying to pull, he's definitely going to be there for the top rune. So, if you're in the position of the mid lane, you kind of at least want to go for the bottom rune. There is no Philia, but you expose yourself if you go for the top rune. That's exactly what happened there. Yeah. One thing to watch, however, is top lane, obviously, Corrupt the Disciple is supposed to get complete free farm and not leave much to the Pharaoh. Pharaoh is sitting at 6-0 so far, though. So, Corrupted, sitting at 17-30, now 18-13. We need to compare him to the Hag, who has a genuine 1v1 matchup, as Hanskin is actually going to the mid lane here.
Oh, Gauntlet, there's that keg, a beautiful keg placement coming up from Sioken. Hanskin trying to get that Camera Champion close enough. Rhapsody doing the best to block right there. Infinite instability coming out, and the movement speed is going to be enough. Oh, what a hook back actually going on in Rhapsody. He's trying to dodge. Mr. Sun's doing everything he can, but it's not going to be enough. Will at least be a turn kill. No, it won't. In fact, Rhapsody now in a lot of trouble. She is going to fall on top of that. So that was very close to even being a getaway there for Mr. Suns. Hell of an attempt, but obviously in the end, too much power coming out by BMG. Hell of a chase, though.
Yeah, hell of a chase, but really well played by Gauntlet. Like, we talked about the individual skill, and that was pretty close. That was pretty close. Only Ophelia's nuke preventing Gauntlet from escaping there. Rhapsody obviously totally overplaying then in the end, trying to get a counter kill, but not nearly having enough damage and consecutively just dying there. But, I mean, we might see some pretty good hooks in the later stages of the game here from Gauntlet. Yeah,
he's definitely been already landing quite a couple here. And you know, again, it's kind of funny, speaking of hook heroes, of course, Super KG, iconic for known for playing the hook heroes such as Gauntlet. So Mr. Sun's doing his best impression, if not, I mean, is he known for playing hook heroes as well over here?
Not necessarily, no.
So it's more of a different kind of style here, but in the end, again, great player altogether, so able to adapt to it if that. So you mentioned the Wretched Hag down here. How is she doing? She is 25-6 right now against that Kraken, who's, of course, 18-1, so ESC is actually not doing too shabby as far as his farm is concerned, but Wretched Hag, Jonas Fan having a good start here. good news for the Legion team. And then, of course, Puppet Master overall, though, leading the way. So you kind of look at the GPM curve right now and everything. How would you say this game is going overall?
I would say that Ophelia is going to make the difference here, and we're going to see that anytime soon. Latest when she has a Ring of Sorcery, what she might possibly go for first.
Yeah.
And with the tower pushes, there is some deep push here on the Hellborn side, but it's not enough torture. I went for an Impalement build, which does make sense against a suicide hero like Pharaoh, but it's not going to be enough in order to get kills. And oh, there's another Station middle. Yeah,
Hanskin coming in. Beautiful play with the double camera. Champion Rhapsody is going to end up falling. Just going for doing a lot, but not enough right there in the end. Engineer getting pulled in, though. He is going to be counter-killed. So support for support will be the name of the game. Maybe a little bit more. Ophelia is going to be picked off. Corrupted Disciple coming in. He ports in, and obviously does a lot of work. So you love to see those aggressive carries. And in fact, they're going to pick up the skill. Oh, no, he kills them, actually. So good job right there by Hanskin at the last second. But still, turnaround coming out from s2y, and again, good movement coming out by Corrupted Disciple right there.
Yeah, definitely interesting to see. I actually have to agree with you now. It doesn't look like as if they are too scared, or if they are scared, they want to still prove themselves, and that is something I really like to see. Obviously, just 6 minutes in, and we still have a golden experience lead due to Ophelia compared to 2 supports here for the Legion side, but it is good to see. I like that. I like that we won't see a one-sided game here, a 50-minute game, and there is a good fight here from s2y.
No, you know, it's kind of funny you bring that up because, again, kind of understandably for a lot of the North American, European region, our HoNcast reaching out here as my sound just got crazy. I apologize, got distracted. But at the top lane, Super KGE got picked off right there by Corrupted Disciple. So again, even more to the fact that s2y makes the big plays. In that case, you had Snake there actually on Corrupted Disciple, able to chase him down with that conduit. I don't even know if he used the conduit actually. That was just Overload Electric Tide doing enough right there to get the kill. But the point being that our NAU region, they see these Southeast Asian teams that they don't know by now, and they just assume that that's going to be the case because, you know, history has kind of stated that it has been the case. But
absolutely,
again, as you pointed out, as we see here, s2y most certainly making some good plays, and if anything, we do have a hell of a game coming at you. So thanks for tuning in, and obviously, hopefully, we got a great match and several matches planned for today, but big kill at the top lane though.
Interesting part is, they're actually Ophelia trying to gank here, but getting counter ganked instead because the support was there waiting. Archer trying to die to Conquer, not gonna happen, actually dying to Ophelia. Kraken coming in here, kind of missing the ultimate, more or less, but might be enough to get the Ophelia. They do get the Ophelia.
Wretched Hack, though, coming in. Gotta clean up on a Kraken right there. And now it's interesting because Corrupted Disciple almost left by himself. Maybe not, though. Gauntlet's gonna be coming in. He has the infinite invincibility, but Super KG with the Wrath of the Pharaoh comes into the last second. Mummy walls go up, and a big fight there in favor of Bad Monkey Gaming. They say, wait a second. We're here to make some big plays ourselves. We're here to even win it all. And they take out s2y right there in the midst of that fight.
That was a very important fight here for BMG, setting themselves at a pretty decent advantage so far. And one thing I wanted to bring up earlier, Corrupted Disciple has now been in 2 fights and got a kill on top lane. That's an extremely active carry play. He's not sitting on his lane and just farming up as a hard carry. He was level 7 in a Ghost Marches when he was TPing middle and ganking and actually getting a kill out of it.
Yeah.
So that is something that you will see from the Asian teams a lot, that they can sit back and just farm up on some heroes like a Moon Queen, like a Bushwhack, but even with those heroes, sometimes they TP really early and get those completely surprising kills, and Puppet Master looking for a kill here himself.
Yeah, he puts the Puppet Show up. He's kind of kiting him away right there. His HoN comes out, and on top of that, he has a grapple attempt. Will it be him? Oh, Rhapsody sidestepped him. His own teammate sidestepped him. And in the end, he is going to end up falling, and now Rhapsody might be in trouble as well. Wretched Hack, of course, chasing him down. Jonas Fan has a blink up very shortly. Might not even be necessary. No, it's not. Double tap coming out for Wretched Hack. So, yeah, that's got to be frustrating, knowing that if he hit that hook, he could have very likely gotten away, but Rhapsody just a little bit too far to the left. The miscommunication there, and in the end, does end up falling. So BMG is starting to get more and more of a comfortable lead now as far as this game progresses on. And again, Puppet Master especially, very, very dangerous at the early start. And at the top lane, Jonas Fan, he's doing what he does best. He just starts to roam around and pick up kills left and right. 5-0-0, that's a big start.
Yeah, Jonas just got activated, it seems, and he's doing work on all 3 lanes pretty much. And I have to say, Rhapsody is by far the weakest link right now on the Hellborn team, and that shows not with just that one move, but also before very questionable decisions, and that hurts a lot if you play dual support. If you have a jungler, you can fall back on him in terms of supporting in both wards and movement overall, but with 2 supports, both of them need to play really crisp. You can get an advantage over a jungler, but they need both to play really good. And unfortunately, Rhapsody's DY's core is not showing that right now.
Yeah. You know, I want to go back to what you were talking about earlier with Corrupted Disciple going the Ghost Marchers. I mean, usually, you know, Steam boots, Ghost Marchers is always that good debate between those two boots. Do you like the Ghost Marchers choice in this case, or would you rather see Steam boots?
I do. We almost saw right now why. Usually, Steam boots, I would even prefer Steam boots myself on Corrupted Disciple. Together with Mystic Vestments, he actually has a pretty decent tankability already, and he is a hero that wants to be tanky. He wants to stay in teamfights for a prolonged time and get charges on his Corrupted Conduit and then deal out the damage. But the thing is with them, they even go for stuff like Ghost Marches and Energizer on a hero like Sandwich. Like, you would think that is overkill. You already have unit walking on one of those items. You don't need it on both. You get really squishy. Why do you need all this movement speed? But they have this very aggressive stat, and as you can see right now, there is Ghost Marches and Energizer both on Corrupted Disciple. So it is about them being able to move at their own pace, and they want to move at a very quick pace, and they will sacrifice tankiness for that.
Well, it seems like, especially with this kind of play style on this build as well, they're playing for more that we need to get stuff done sooner than later, because you do look at the Legion team, especially with the way they're progressing, both Hag and Puppet Master are getting very, very big, and then there's even the Ophelia, who's doing very well himself, as we mentioned, 300 plus gold per minute. Very, very solid coming out. That Assassin Shroud is going to be finished here shortly for Puppet Master. Again, you talk about a very effective snowballing kind of carry style hero, most certainly up there on that list. So that is not good news for s2y. And then, of course, Wretched Hag again, 437 GPM, actually leading the way is Jonas and Fan. And a Light Brand already finished, another 500 gold saved up on top of that. So, very curious to see what direction s2y goes here very shortly, because, I mean, we did see them release Kraken earlier. I was going to say, I don't know if we've seen one yet, but we did see one earlier. But, again, they have solid team fight potential. Rhapsody's still level 4, so I will say that is really unfortunate because, again, it speaks for itself. Protective Melody, a very, very strong ability, and they don't have that just yet. So, I don't know. What would you like to see s2y kind of do right here for the pace of this game?
They're doing fine. They're going to farm the engines now. They need to make sure that the mid lane doesn't die in the next 2 minutes, else the mid tower is going to fall really quickly, and they can't afford that right now. Actually, an attempt here by the Puppet Master to get a kill, but Rhapsody running away. What's going on there?
There's the release, the Kraken pulling him in. Will this speed up for the kill? Support is coming in. He has his minions doing everything he can. He will be picked up, but at what cost right here? The Puppet, that Voodoo Puppet comes out on a Kraken. Kraken one round of that. Yes, it's the ball. Beautiful bat blast in the face as well. Torture goes down, but now here comes Corrupted Disciple. Wrath of the Pharaoh in the back of the blocks off Gauntlet. Corrupted Disciple is going to be picked up. It's a hat trick for Jonas and Fan. He is on fire here in game number 1. Rhapsody is going to fall, making a quad kill coming out. 9-0-0 start here. 500 plus gold per minute all of a sudden. That's one of those fights that almost puts the dagger in the heart, man.
Yeah, they get the triple engines now instead of the mid tower, which is perfectly fine, and that is tough.
Yeah.
That is tough. I don't have a bad word for this right now. That is actually really rough here for the Hellborn side. And I mean, look at the goal of the Hag right now. She's 2,300 gold. She's suddenly sitting at 500 plus GPM, and that was because he got so active. He was also not sitting on his lane and just farming out, which he can do with the Wretched Hag. He can farm until Grimoire, even until BKB, and then have kind of a team fight set up together with the team. But he's all over the place, and he's getting kills everywhere. And that is hurting a lot against dual support, because jungler might have the durability or the ultimates with the experience gain that he gets to actually endure Wretched Hag jumping around everywhere, but we have a level 5 Rhapsody and a level 6 Torture both sitting on red boots. They are fodder.
Yeah, that's not the best start. Again, Rhapsody especially, not only their farm, but again, being level 5 still very, very unfortunate. She did get initiated right there. In fact, they are going to follow this out. The Skeleton King comes in. There's a knockback with the keg. The communication is just on top here for BMG, and down goes Rhapsody. So now 16-7 hero kill lead. We're only 14 minutes into the game, but those golden experience leads are getting very, very large at this point. 8,800 gold lead, 9,200 experience lead, and big items are starting to be delivered now. As again, that Assassin Shroud just finished on Puppet Master. He's also level 11 on top of that. And then you also have Wretched Hag. Blessed Orb picked up, so well on their way to that Grimoire power. So, you know, you look at this Hellborn team right here as far as what they got coming together. Yeah, as you're putting it, the supports especially not really the most, and just on top of that overall, not really a whole lot of good coming out. And unfortunately, Kraken's going to try to make his best impression at the bottom lane to make a kill happen, but it's not going to happen. Jonas Fan cleans him up, Ophelia's assistance. Meanwhile, the middle lane, though, a Gauntlet will get a counter kill on an Engineer, but it does fall shortly after, and there's the bottom tower kill on top. So BMG, it's safe to say they've gotten the ball rolling here. I don't know if S2Y really. I think they're almost at the point where they just gotta have to just group up, go for a charge push here, and hope for the best. Because
yeah, they need to surprise. They need to surprise BMG for sure, because else it's not gonna work. There is a puppet show here on the Corrupted Disciple. One carry killing the other because there's already a shroud on the puppet master, and that was without towers because they are having such a kill lead right now that they have items, 4 items that they need in order to get even more kills. So the playstyle of Ophelia was really interesting. I mentioned earlier that she would push very early because she's a jungler and she is playing against dual support with no D-push. However, he decided to farm up pretty decently and be very active around the mid lane, and that was definitely the right choice. Now he gets completely free 2 towers on the bottom lane with that playstyle and the space that he created earlier, so that was very good by Ophelia.
Yeah, Hanskin doing a great job right there. Very effective for his team. And again, we are now 15 and a half minutes in. So, actually, Rhapsody gonna get grabbed away. Will survive, but only just a second longer. And Jonas Fan gets another kill. He's 11-0-0. He's going for the big plays right here. Gauntlet's gonna be hooked in right here by Wrath of the Pharaoh. There's the Bat Blast in the background. Double tap already coming out. Corrupted Assemble caught in the midst of it all. Are we gonna see after? Yes, we are. He is 2 kills away right now. Kraken's holding his ground. He is eventually gonna fall though, and that should do it. GG, well played. So no annihilation coming, or no immortal, excuse me, coming out for Jonas Fan, but still they get the win, and that's what really matters for Bad Monkey Gaming. So. Interesting game, man. I mean, it started off so well for S2Y. They were playing aggressive. They were showing that they were not afraid. Once the ball started rolling, though, for BMG, I mean...
I would like to say I was right. It wasn't a 50-minute stomp. It was a 60-minute stomp.
You were right.
So I saved myself there. No, but honestly, it was complete outplay in the later stage of the early game.
Yeah.
Like around the 7-minute mark, suddenly the Hag... We talked about Corrupted Disciple coming for early ganks, etc., but suddenly Hag count was coming in, and she had so much more impact overall than the Corrupted had. And S2Y, they were very reliable, very reliant here on the Rhapsody, I dare say, with that lineup they had, and she completely fell apart. I mean, of course, you would generally say it's just a support, but no, that's about team game, right?
Well, people first pick Rhapsody all the time, and she is. There's a lot of value on Rhapsody, no doubt, for good reason. So, yeah, but you look at the end game stat, even only level 5 is when she finished, and obviously, again, that's just not going to be the best outcome for your team usually if that's going to be the case. So, in the end, BMG making a statement here in game number 1. Again, maybe a little bit of shaky to the start to the game, but once they got it rolling, like I said, they got it rolling. And Jonas Fan especially, talk about a hell of a player. I mean, you have experience, of course, with Jonas Fan from your playing history, the good old Q Squad days. But no, Jonas Fan 13-0-2. He just had a fantastic game himself and a big reason for that success there. So S2Y, I mean, what do you think game 2? You think they're going to rebound here and do better, or is BMG going to be too strong?
That is not a real S2Y lineup, I have to say. I want to see them play their own style. I want to see them play something that they've played for the past year plus and just give it their best shot, because we saw right now, all individual skill aside, they were outclassed.
Yeah.
And then you got to do what you're best at. Like, you can't try to do anything fancy. Yeah,
you were talking about that earlier. It really comes down to just do what you know best in the end. Don't try to copy everyone else. Do what you know best. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a short break right here. We're going to get you updated on the other games as well.